Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Brothers-in-law. On this channel, we talk about police-involved incidents that occur around the country, and we give our analysis on whether or not the actions of those police officers are what a reasonable officer would do. And we also look at the actions of the citizens to see if they had used our acronym of C.A.L.M, which stands for Comply, Answer Questions, Listen, and Move On. Would their situation had turned out differently? Now, we all know that we may agree or disagree about how these things unfold, but we're giving our honest opinion as experienced law enforcement officers, uh, what the mindset of that officer might have been going into this situation. And, you know, again, you agree with us or you may not agree with us. That's okay. But we're just trying to give you a better understanding of why these things unfold the way that they do. Uh, my name is Corey. Is this your first time joining us? I'm a former Virginia State trooper, and I'm also a retired Navy Chief Petty Officer. And my co-host tonight is Mr. Michael Bradley.
What's going on? I see you, Stacy. I see you, Tone. Missed you last week, Tone. Missed you last week. Good to see you on here. I'm Mike Bradley. I'm co-host of the show. 26-year law enforcement veteran in Northern California, retired, and a 6-year Army veteran. So we got a good video lined up today to talk about how things go south when it's way unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? This chick that got stopped, Corey, she went off the deep end. And
yeah, she did.
All because she knew the law, and it's a mess. But we'll talk about it.
Yep. And before we get into the video tonight, please head over to the merch shop at brothers-in-law.myspreadshop.com and pick up a nice little Brothers-in-Law t-shirt. Mike has one that says the acronym C.A.L.M. I have another one that says the acronym C.A.L.M, compliance, a question. Let's move on. Help support the channel so we can grow our channel. Also, if you like the content of this video tonight, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button for us to stay up to date of all our latest videos that we come up. We go live every Thursday, and I think that is it. But welcome everybody, and let's get into this video tonight.
All right, I think this happened last year.
No, this year.
Oh, this year. Okay.
Yeah, March.
And I think it was in Florida.
Yep, correct.
All right. So it was a regular traffic stop, and it turns really bad unnecessarily. I'm sorry. So here we go.
March 8, 2023, in Orange County, Florida, a traffic enforcement officer randomly running license plates initiates a stop on a driver named Jasmine for a suspended license and a state-issued seize tag order.
Stop. How you doing? License and registration, please.
245 Bravo, copy of Revolve.
As soon as I get your license, I'm glad to tell you. Good.
1549 Robertson.
Thank you, ma'am. Jasmine, the reason why I'm stopping is because I run the plate. Your license actually comes back suspended, and you have a seize tag order in reference to your car insurance. Yeah. Oh, I mean, you do.
No, I went to the courthouse yesterday.
Right, you made the payment, but you didn't take care of everything else.
How do you know?
Because it says in my record.
I just did yesterday. Maybe you didn't say I couldn't drive.
Okay, well, I'm telling you, you can't drive. Your license is suspended.
It's not. If I went to the courthouse,
okay. Jasmine, when's the last time you had a ticket?
I haven't been pulled over. You're the first one to pull me over in months.
Look.
You never had a ticket before?
No, only red light cameras.
Red light cameras? Okay. Has your license ever been suspended before?
No.
No? Okay. And the address here, is this correct?
Yeah.
Well, which one? The one on your license here or the Conway Road?
The one on my license.
The one on your license? Okay. Because they don't forward DL information, that's why. How long has it been since you lived in Conway? A couple months. Okay, so you just moved back here? Okay. And what do you have there? You were trying to show me something else. What's this?
This is the paper. That's yours.
Okay, this shows you live in Kissimmee. The paperwork that you filled out yesterday. I'm sorry? Well, because you have to have the correct address on your license. That's a civil infraction. Did you send me one?
The one on my ID.
Okay, well, why would you write incorrect information?
I didn't write incorrect information.
I'll be right back.
Jasmine claims to have had her license reinstated the previous day, yet the officer's computer states otherwise, and she already has 4 previous suspensions on her record. As Jasmine continues to argue, the officer goes back to his vehicle to inspect the paperwork more closely. But when Jasmine gets tired of waiting, she exits the vehicle and approaches the officer.
Have a seat in your car. Have a seat in your car when I'm done. Ma'am, I don't care. You have a seat in the car. Okay, listen to me. You don't have the right to get out.
I have the right to do whatever I want. If I can get out of my car, get out of my car. You can.
Okay, we talked about this several times, folks. For all our viewers, you should not get out of the car on a traffic stop. You are at the mercy of that officer. There is case law that says the officer can control all occupants of the vehicle while you are on a traffic stop. Okay, so the officer can order you out of the car. He can order you back in the car. He can order passengers out of the car. He can order passengers back into the car. So she is wrong on that. She's getting herself into trouble and she doesn't understand what's going on. So just because you are impatient doesn't mean you should step out of that car and find out what's going on. You sit in that car and you wait for the officer to give you further instructions.
Yeah, and that ought to tell you something about her character anyway. I mean, you already know from the jump she was going to be verbally combative with you, and now you just by getting out of your vehicle, now you set the stage for something greater to happen. Now you've opened that door for the officer to do something, right?
Yeah.
Like we always say this. You don't want to ever put yourself in a position to where you make that officer have to react to your actions, right?
Right.
And when you do that, you're putting yourself in a position to possibly get hurt, possibly ticking this officer off because we don't know what type of officer you're going to get. Right? We always talk about that. And now you put yourself in this situation to where he may be a loose cannon or she may be a loose cannon and start doing things that are unnecessary and that goes against their department policy. So this is why it's important for you to stay in your vehicle, no matter if you believe you're 100% correct or not. Don't get out of that vehicle. Now, as an officer, Mike, what are we thinking? Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now
clearly you're thinking. Go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say now you're going from thinking that this is just a so-called quote unquote routine traffic stop to now I have to start thinking about going hands-on.
Yeah. You start to click in the next level of what you might have to do on this traffic stop. Folks, right. The reason why it's important that you don't make up your own mind to get in and out of the vehicle is because when an officer does a traffic stop, everything is about safety, and everything is about safety as far as that officer is concerned. That's why it's the officer's it's his first thought is to keep everything safe. With you getting out of that car and just roaming around or you approaching the officer, I don't know you. I don't know if you getting ready to pull out a gun on me. We have to think like that because that stuff has happened. Okay. This lady gets out of the car. We haven't patted her down. We don't know if she has weapons on her. We don't know if she's getting out and getting ready to run. We don't know what she's doing. Okay. That's something else now I have to divert my attention to because she's decided to get out of the car. So I have to stop what I'm doing in the patrol car. And now I have to put my eyes on her, okay, to make sure she's not doing something that could be considered a threat to me.
Right.
Okay.
And we're talking Pennsylvania versus Mims.
Actually, That might be one, but I think it's California versus Brennan.
Brennan, there you go.
You guys should look it up. Forgive me, I don't have a case law right in front of me, but there is case law. You can feel free to look it up. Okay, that the officers can control all occupants of the vehicle during a legal detention. Okay, so like a traffic stop. All right, we're not talking about ID. We're not talking about that yet. We're only talking about whether you can get in and out of the car freely. And the answer to that is no. The officer has to dictate whether you can and cannot for obvious officer safety reasons. All right, here we go.
Yeah, that's it, Mike. Brennan versus California.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
How can you not? You're not my boss. You're not my dad. You don't get
There's a Supreme Court ruling that says you need to get back in your car. Now get back in your car.
Let me see the paper.
Google it. Get back in your car.
I'm not Googling.
Ma'am, you're losing your car today. I'm impounding the car. I'm taking your license and I'm taking your tag.
How are you
So if you want to call somebody to come get you, that's the best thing.
I'm here by myself.
Well, I apologize. Your license is suspended 4 times. You have an FR suspension.
No, I just
and you have not cleared everything up.
I showed you the
Everything is not cleared up.
What do you mean? Why didn't she tell me that? I asked her any other problem. She didn't say nothing.
Well, I'm telling you what there is.
Okay,
I will give you all the court. I will give you all the information. Your car is getting impounded.
Right there, Mike.
Impounded.
Hold it. Here we go again, y'all. Now, up to this point, I think the officer is handling himself in a very professional manner. He's acting as I would, but the only difference I think is I'm not going to go back and forth with you too many more times before I ask you to step back into your vehicle. Then I'm going to just go ahead and detain you and put you in my car and allow myself to finish the paperwork necessary to do. But you can see you're not getting anywhere with her. So why continue on with all the back and forth? You know, she, in my opinion, Mike, you tell me if I'm wrong or not, but I think she's kind of trying to push that envelope to actually really see how far she can go with this, as if she's really going to talk herself out of this.
Yeah. And I understand. Look, I understand that you went to court yesterday.
Right.
And you thought that you had everything squared away. Well, I'm telling you, in the system, you don't have everything squared away. It's not my job to figure out what else you need to do. I can only go off of what the computer tells me. Okay. If they haven't updated their records in the computer, well, that's on the court. So you can't argue with the officer about that. You have to go with what the officer sees. And it might suck because, Corey, you and I both have seen sometimes, not often, but sometimes the system, when I say the system, I mean the computer base, the computer system. It's not updated when all the time. It's not updated to what actually took place in court. You know what I'm saying? Not really, not all the time that happens. But yeah, sometimes that does. Nonetheless, folks, okay, this is not how you behave, because you are creating more of a situation. You might be upset that you're getting your car towed, okay? You might be upset that you're getting a ticket for a suspended license, okay? But all that stuff is decided in court, not there on the street, okay? You are creating a safety issue now on the street. You are creating a safety issue and forcing this officer to think of this right here and right now. What I need to do to make this scene safe and get you back in the car and get you out of here. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever you're going to do, right? But not this way.
No, it's not. That's not where we're going to hold court at. No. And I can feel her frustration. Like, I just came from here taking care of all this. Maybe she missed something on her part, but then again, this is the whole part of being, hey, stay calm, relax. Obviously, if there's something wrong, you get it worked out. It's probably gonna suck that she's, well, now she definitely is going to get her vehicle towed. What if she stayed calm? Like, She probably still would have got the vehicle towed.
Maybe. Hey, I don't know how they do it there.
Know.
Maybe, maybe not. But
right,
you know,
maybe not.
Definitely gonna get it towed now.
Yeah, you definitely gonna get it towed now.
Your attitude has a lot to do with some things. Okay, I might have a discretion whether or not to tow your vehicle. You know what I'm saying? So it depends. Depends on how you are. Are you listening to instructions? Are you following commands? When I tell you to get back in the car, are you trying to make it difficult and say you don't have to tell me what to do? Yeah, she is absolutely wrong on this, folks. She needs to get back in her car as she is commanded to do. Okay, here we go.
It's going to go to the record yard. It's going to go to police impound until you get a valid license. So you physically go down to the DL office and reinstate your license.
Why can I
you owe money because you're not allowed to drive. I cannot let you get in a car and drive again.
I went to the courthouse and she said there's no problem.
I'm just telling you what's going on. Well, you can take it up with the clerk.
I was just yesterday.
Hey, Ron, come on over. Ma'am, I can't help it if she doesn't do her job. I can't help
He's
that.
calling for a cover unit because she is getting out of control now.
Ma'am, go stand by your car. Go stand by your car. Go stand by your car. Okay. Ma'am, you're this close to going to jail. Okay. You're this close to go to jail. Go have a seat by your car.
Jasmine continues to argue, and as backup arrives, she gets back into her vehicle and makes a brief attempt to flee.
Ron, don't let her go.
Folks, don't do this.
Please don't do this.
This is ridiculous. She is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Get out of the car now.
She actually tried to drive off.
Turn around, put your hands on the back.
What is your problem?
Get out of the car.
What is your problem?
My problem is you tried to take off from the stop, lady. Come on now.
What is your problem?
Relax.
You're hurting me. You're
Relax.
You're hurting me. Get off of me.
He ain't doing nothing unreasonable, folks.
Nope.
Nothing unreasonable.
Yeah, at this point, she is resisting. You see how she's
she's
moving.
resisting.
She's resisting.
Yeah. Yeah, take her to the ground. That's that. Nothing is unreasonable about that. Look, she's trying to stop them from handcuffing her.
Stop resisting.
He's pushing down on her shoulder to try to pin her down. That's reasonable. See, this problem I have, Corey. You know, maybe she got something mentally going on, or she's of that generation that thinks they can do what they want to do on a traffic stop. They want to tell the police they can or can't do something. You know what I'm saying? Then she wants to scream and cry and holler when they have to put hands on you. And it ain't pretty because I got to put my hands on you. Okay. Right. She wants to act like, what's your problem? My problem is you tried to drive off on a traffic stop. Okay. I'm legally detaining you here and you actually taking off on me. Okay. You getting hooked up at that point. No questions asked.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the standard. I didn't do nothing. Well, yes, you did. Let's go down the list. Right. You didn't get back in your vehicle when I instructed you. How many times? 3 or 4 times he told you not to get out of your vehicle, and then you drive off. Like, that's the wrong thing to do. Like, I understand you're frustrated. This whole thing in their eyes is BS, and it might be total BS in her eyes. But that doesn't mean you conduct and carry yourself in this manner. And then you go off the deep end. And I think at this point she's trying to gain attention. Like, hey, look at me, look at me, look what the police is doing to me. Small little black girl. Look at me, they're abusing me and going off and everything like that. And they're gonna use the term, you're fighting us or whatever. But in a sense, no, you're not throwing blows, but you are squirming and moving around and resisting.
Actively resisting.
Right. Making them take further action or trying to do different takedown methods and restraining methods to, try to get you under control. Right. Yeah. And in an event, you may get hurt. We always say on here that arrests aren't pretty. We like for them to be pretty, and we love for them to be textbook. We love for the citizen to, put their hands behind the back or interlock their hands and place them on top of their head. We love for it to go like that. But does it always go like that, Mike?
No.
No, it doesn't. We end up with
and you see this, you know what they say. Well, she's this little girl, what can she do? Well, as you can see, it takes a couple of them just to get her down on the ground, okay, and to get her turned over and to pull her hands behind her back. You see, she's steadily pulling away from him. She's steadily trying to make that difficult, which she is. Clearly, she's making it that difficult. So it doesn't look pretty. If I got to put my hands on you in this way, it ain't gonna be pretty. I got to use the necessary force to accomplish what I'm getting ready to do. Okay. Right. Yeah, I ain't bashing you over the head with a baseball bat. Okay. But I got to put my hand somewhere on your shoulder or something to push you down because you fighting against me.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And that's resisting. And that's going to get you put behind bars. Well, and he told her she was going to get arrested if she didn't get back in the vehicle. Now you drive off. So now this is where we are, right? And you have to ask yourself, was it really worth this? Yeah, I
that part.
She went to the clerk's office and the clerk told her, everything was good. Maybe the clerk missed something, but clearly she didn't take care of the suspensions. You didn't pay all the fines. She said she was paying on them. Well, just because you paying on them don't mean your license is reinstated. Here in Virginia, you got to pay what we call a reinstatement fee. I've had this happen before, Mike, sort of similar to this, where you pull them over and hey, your licenses are suspended. Mm-hmm. Like, no, I paid the court, I paid the fines and everything, and now all of that. Did you pay DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles? Did you pay the reinstatement fee to them to have your license reinstated? Oh no, because that's here in Virginia. That's an extra. I don't call it a fine, but it's a extra cost, and it's usually between $200 and $300 to pay to have your license reinstated after they've been suspended. So if you don't pay that, your license will still remain suspended, even though you might have gone to the court and paid all your courts fines and fees. Right.
Yeah, that part. That was a red flag for me when he said she didn't actually have a valid license in her possession. No. So folks, if you didn't go to DMV and get your valid license in possession while you're driving, you should assume that whatever you got going on is still suspended until you actually get the valid license in your hand. Okay, so that was a red flag to me. This could have gone a lot easier. Maybe she would have got a car towed. Maybe she would have got a ticket. That's the most that would have happened. Okay, if her first red flag was she got out of the car and refused to get back in after being told to do so, then she became very argumentative with the officer about what he was doing, and he can't do this and he can't do that. I paid this, I paid that. They're being very argumentative. Okay, that was the second flag. Okay, so you knew things wasn't going to go his way at all.
Tone has a question. He says, should officers at every traffic stop inform suspects they are being detained to protect themselves, as well as putting them on notice? Well,
let me read. Should officers at every stop inform suspects they're being detained to protect themselves?
you're not a
No,
suspect when I pull you over.
yeah, but not only that, I think when you get your license through DMV, I mean, everybody it should be a clear understanding if you are pulled over by police, lights and siren or lights, at least lights, okay? You can assume that you're being detained. You know what I'm saying? That is a detention within itself. A traffic stop is a form of detention within itself. So you should assume that, Tone. There shouldn't be any questions at that. You're detained until the officer lets you go. Okay. Now, I can see what you're saying. If you happen to be walking somewhere and the officer comes up to you and starts talking to you, then you could ask, am I being detained? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because you don't know. I might be consensually contacting you at that point. You know what I'm saying? A consensual contact. So if I'm maybe it's a good idea for me to say, if I say you can't go anywhere, then you're being detained. If you don't feel free to leave, you should feel you are being detained. Okay. I have to make sure that you feel free to leave if I'm not detaining you. Okay. So I think that answers the question, Corey.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it's a common knowledge to know that, especially when it comes to traffic stops, that at this
Yeah.
moment you can't leave, or you're detained, if you will. But that's kind of that's a shoot, I can't even think of the word I'm looking for. But that's a common knowledge that you are. But if it goes any further than just what the primary stop was for, then at that point, for, I say, for a DUI or suspected of drugs or whatever, at that time, or officer safety, that's when I'm tell you, okay, now you are officially detained and you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't hurt one way or the other. I mean,
No,
I see
I know. Yeah,
it was
I
just
mean,
a
you
matter
could. I
of
mean, Tone, they could, as they're pulling you over and they ask for your identification, and they could come back and say, "All right, sir, ma'am, at this point, you're going to be detained until I'm finished with this traffic stop, and at this point, you're not free to leave. You are not free to leave."
sure.
You could say something like that and be fine with it, or not, because at that point, once I have your ID, well, right now you can't go nowhere because I got your license.
Yeah, and the flip side of that, Tone, is if you ever get stopped by the police and you are unsure if you're detained, you can
And,
ask the officer, "Am I being detained?" You know what I'm saying? You can ask them that, and they'll tell you, yeah, yes or no. If they say no, you're free to walk away if you're not being detained. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with that either. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Matter of fact, I think that's encouraged now if you don't know. But if
Ask.
it's on a traffic stop, that's most people know that's a detention.
Yep.
Okay, let's finish this video real quick. It ain't much left to it, but we'll go ahead and finish it out here and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Let me rewind a little bit here. Okay. Well, you tried to drive away on a traffic stop. What you think was going to happen?
Right.
You pulled away from the officers as they were going to handcuff you. What do you think was going to happen?
You can't take off on a traffic stop. It's all on video. Get in. Get in.
You're such a dick.
Her parents must be so proud.
show it the black female put the key in driver's is normal.
249.
You guys are great.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Per unit. You got it.
Negative. All units be canceled. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, go ahead and fast forward to the ride to the precinct, Mike.
All right.
Because you ran from the traffic stop.
I didn't ran from the traffic stop. I was at the red light. The light turned green. You
Ma'am.
over at the Wells Fargo.
Ma'am.
I got out the car.
Ma'am.
I took the punch and felt like a courthouse.
Did you not just drive off? Did you not just drive off?
No, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to the courthouse. Why can't I go? I want
Because when the traffic stop wasn't done, and I told you that.
Yeah, but
I think she might be a little off.
She's something.
You don't
All
have the
right.
right to leave.
Let's fast forward a little bit.
not fight. I don't know how to fight. I'm
Where
only
we at?
130 pounds. I'm small. Can I fight?
So it was a good day, I guess.
Who are you?
Nobody got hurt. No one.
I'm hurt.
I don't think I have the when they.
I think
Oh,
her
here we go.
pride is
Here we
her.
go.
Why? I was just there and paid a lot of money that I don't have.
You know, at this point, and this is where the keyboard warriors would be right. At this point, she should exercise her right and keep her mouth shut.
Yeah.
Violence and fleeing and eluding police. She faces up to 5 years in prison if convicted.
See, all that
Put
didn't have to happen.
Can you freeze that frame up where it list her charges?
Okay.
I said, girl, be quiet. The fuck? And then what? I'm gonna get fucked. How do I even get out? Like, what the
And get to it in a second here. So, you know, now you risk the chance of being locked up for 5 years. You got to stop it right there. For 5 years for resisting an officer with violence. What's the other one? Obstruction with
The violence part, folks, is because she resisted. She physically resisted, tried to stop them from handcuffing her behind her back to the point where they had to take her to the ground and try to force her even more to put her hands behind her back.
Yeah. And you get to this point for what? Like I get the frustration, you know, she has, Mike, you know, for doing what she thought she was doing was the right thing, going to the court, taking care of some of the expenses and things. And, you know, now having to go through all this, have your vehicle impounded, whatever. I get it. But now you really put yourself in a pickle, right?
Oh, yeah.
you know, now you don't have a car to get to work, to take your kids to, what did she say, Disneyland or wherever she was going to take them, Disney World, wherever. But, you know, like somebody said in the comments of this video, and by the way, you know, if you want to watch this video in its entirety, I put the link down below in the description of the video. You know, somebody said in the comments down there, like, you know, you racking up all this stuff, or maybe you shouldn't be speeding. If you can't afford a speeding ticket, then don't speed, right? Not saying you should speed because you can't afford a ticket, but definitely don't speed if you can't afford one. And you know, we got a lot of those red light traffic cameras around here too. And they got me too one time a few years ago. You know, but hey, it is what it is. I guess I better, you know, exercise a little more caution before, you know, oh, the light is still yellow and go through, and then it turns red, and then guess what? They get you. Now I do have a problem with those because here that's ran by a third party has nothing to do with anything in Virginia. That's a third party in another state collecting money, you know, finding people in our state. Anyway, that's another whole story. But point being is, don't put yourself in a situation if you know you can't pay for your mistakes. Don't put yourself in that situation. This is what this young lady did, and it was totally unnecessary. But had she followed the acronym CALM, Mike, maybe what she definitely wouldn't have went to jail for sure.
Yeah, for sure. She wouldn't have got pinned down on the ground and handcuffed.
She
You know
wouldn't
what I'm
have
saying?
right.
None of that stuff.
And
None
she
of that
wouldn't be
stuff
facing 5 years in jail.
No. She had been home. However she got there, she had been home with her kids right now.
And
You know
she
what
could
I'm
have
saying?
she could have made the call back to the courts,
Right.
figure out what the problem was, and get her car out of impound. Yeah, it probably cost her some more money because she had to get the car out of the impound and pay all these fines and fees off, but at least you wouldn't be in jail.
And folks, understand this. You can't, the bottom line, the biggest message here is you can't lose your cool on a traffic stop just because you think something is wrong or something is you can't do that to me. You can't lose your cool. When you lose your cool, you will cause the officer now to have to address you losing your cool in some way. Okay. If you're getting out of control to the point where that officer feels that it's now a safety hazard and I have to do something, you know what I'm saying? Then that's what you don't want. Okay. It's not about whether you feel it's a safety hazard. It's about whether that officer feels it's a safety hazard. Okay. So this didn't have to turn out this way.
No, and let it be a lesson learned to her and to others. I mean, I'm glad that whoever posted this video posted it. It's a good training video to like, okay, now what not to do during a traffic stop, or how not to talk yourself into getting arrested.
Right.
It's a lot of lessons learned in here, and of course, I know our viewers are law-abiding citizens, but I think if you all share this video out with brothers-in-law and get it in front of these young people and let them know this is not how you conduct yourself. You would definitely go to jail acting like this young lady here. Don't do it.
She clearly had no clue how to behave.
No clue at all. I mean, and the officer the whole way through was very professional.
Sure.
Never disrespected her, never called her out of name. He gave her multiple chances to get herself together, to get back in the vehicle. You put the officer in the position now. He had to respond, right? And I mean, especially a young lady like that. I mean, small, petite. Hey, as a guy, you don't want to go hands on with a woman. You don't. Right, but
let me tell you, them small petite ones can be very strong.
They can be some firecrackers.
Don't think just because she's small and petite that she ain't got no strength. You know what I'm
saying? And the little ones are a little actually harder to control, Mike, because they're so small and petite and very flexible and can maneuver a little bit better. But you don't put yourself in that situation, folks.
No.
And please tell your young teenage son and daughters and members of your church, don't act like this. And I mean, not only that, I mean, you're embarrassment to your family. I'm pretty confident this is not how they raise you to act with authority. But this is a powerful lesson for her to have to learn now, Mike.
Yep, that's right.
So, hey, let us know what you think. Did this officer act as a reasonable officer? And this citizen, did she act as a reasonable citizen? She was totally out of control. And do you think she deserved the charges that she brought on herself? Or should she just been let go? Let us know in the description down below. What do you guys think? But yeah, I mean, this is what we're talking about tonight. This young lady, she lost total control of her, let her emotions get the best of her. The title I think fits well. From traffic stop to a felony. Entitled woman's wild encounter. And I think the title fits because here you go, right? A so-called routine traffic stop turns down to felony charges. Right.
I mean, I just think that today it's important. I mean, you don't have to be in this type of situation. I think young folks today it's so much of let's figure out how we can fight the police. You know what I'm saying? Let's figure out how we could make the police job more difficult. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about.
Why?
She
Because they
really
think
felt
the
comfortable
police are
saying, yeah, she felt comfortable saying, you can't do that to me. I do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Not
you're not my
realizing,
daddy.
yeah. I mean, she just, I think, unfortunately, Corey, I think that's a lot that's what's going on. There's a large portion of the youth, the younger generation, that see that and they think that's acceptable behavior. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of keeping it cool, using their heads, not arguing court here on the street, but in the courtroom. Okay, you know that's what it's about. It's about you walking away, going home that night, or going to jail. Either one that happens, but it's about you not getting hurt and officers not having to use force on you. Okay, if you can get through a contact with an officer not having to use force on you, whether you agree with it or not, okay, you are successful if you get through that contact without force.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And no matter if you, like you said, no matter if they still had to go to jail or not.
Right.
You got through, and that's the whole reasoning behind C.A.L.M. You comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. She never got to the ask questions or to the move on. Well, she moved on. She went to jail. Tom says, thank you, Mike, because I was just going to ask this question, and you do know why.
No, Tone, tell me why. What were you thinking? I want to hear what you were thinking. But I ain't saying all generation. I don't want to, I just think that today in the air is a lot of, let's say, how we could fight the police, how we could, get away with stuff, or how
you can't do that, and they try to know their constitutional rights when a lot of them really don't. But
that's
they get a lot.
know.
They get a lot of this jibber jabber from social media, from whoever they're listening to, and somebody's telling the whole, if you get pulled over by the cops, you don't have to do what they tell you to do. That's like, well, yeah, you do.
I see you, Tone. All right.
And we have to rein that in, because whoever's telling these folks what they can and can't do. And I think I've seen a video of I think, Mike, you might have sent it to me. A guy on I think YouTube or whatever, he was talking about something. I mean, he had the wrong facts, was telling lies, and then somebody called him out on it. And now you got all these thousands of people who are following you, believing that the officers at fault in telling a lie, and then you got thousands of people believing this lie, and now you just created more police haters or whatever based on lie. And we don't want to do that. Don't listen to these kind of people. Yes, you need to follow these officers' instruction. If you believe that you're being improperly detained, take it to court, lawyer up.
Judge is who decides whether or not that officer is wrong, not you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And Mike, there's plenty of lawyers out there. If you got a good case, they'll do it pro bono, because they know they're gonna get a whole bunch of media coverage and press coverage or whatever, and boost up their clients, and they'll do it for pro bono.
And don't get me wrong, what I'm saying. I mean, obviously, there are officers that need to be respectful of somebody's constitutional rights. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Don't be out there acting crazy. They're doing stupid stuff. There are plenty of officers that will do some dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't get me wrong. But you as a citizen will only make your situation a whole lot worse on the scene if you try to fight, argue, and resist. You know what I'm saying? Just take it to court and argue at court. Get your fat $10 million check if something was wrong. I say that loosely, but you know, that's where you argue your battles. Not on shit.
Yep. Now it's true. Because you know, again, I look at this young lady like, you know, if she would, you know, been my daughter or whatever, you know, if my daughter had like this and my foot would still be in her butt, and she would tell you it would be in her butt. First of all, you're not gonna go out here and act a fool like this. If it's wrong, we'll take care of it in court, and that's how we'll do it. You don't go out here and act a fool like this, because again, you don't know what type of officer you're gonna get. He could be a racist, and now you know you're getting your butt whooped or whatever.
What if she had a heart condition, and by them taking her to the ground, now it just caused her to have a heart attack?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the problems that I have, Corey. You know what I'm saying? When you need to use force on somebody, and because they have something else going on with them physically, you being on top of them could be attributing to them having a heart attack or something. You never know. You know what I'm saying? So don't do that, folks.
Yeah, don't clearly don't do that. So yeah, it was a good video, man. Like I said, let us know what you think down below in the comments. You know, did she get what she deserved? Should she have gone to jail? Let us know what you all think. If you like the content of this video, please go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button for us. I think we'll wrap this one up for tonight. Short one, short and sweet, I like to say. And let's share this out to everybody, especially if you know these young folks out here, teenage or in their early 20s that have a hot head sometimes. You need to sit down and watch this video and learn what not to do, and learn about this acronym: staying calm, comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. Because your traffic stop should not end like this young lady right here.
No.
Mike,
hey, Jesus love you. I see you on here.
Oh yeah, welcome, brother.
I got nothing final to say other than have a good weekend.
Yeah, enjoying your Memorial Day weekend as we pay respect to those who paid the ultimate sacrifice with their life through all our wars we've been in throughout the years and throughout the history of this country. So let's reflect and remember those vets who paid the ultimate sacrifice, the actions that they did in their families as well. Also, be careful.
Anthony White, I see you on here.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up, Anthony. So please check out the rerun afterwards. But as I was gonna say, and I'm gonna shut my mouth. Be safe out there, especially if you're in Virginia. Troopers will be out there all weekend conducting speed enforcements. So obey the laws, obey the traffic laws, and enjoy yourself this weekend. No drinking and driving. Remember, it's a holiday, so you're going to sit in jail till Tuesday.
Right. And holiday weekend, folks, let me tell you, cops going to be out there, and they will be proactive, looking for people to stop. Okay, so if you get pulled over, it's all right. You know what to do. You've been watching our show long enough to where you should know how to behave. You know what I'm saying? But keep in mind, they should be pulling people over. That's how they're going to get DUIs. That's how they're going to get all kind of stuff. So yeah, cops should be active on a holiday weekend like this.
Right.
So be
exactly
careful.
Right. Jesus love you. Drink water and not wine. That's right. That's right. All right, y'all have a good weekend. Be blessed, be safe, and we'll see you next Thursday at 8:10.
Peace out.
Peace.